All right, everybody, welcome. We are here with a brand new TAS by sealpuptakinganap. If you remember, I've actually reacted to a 120 TAS by the same person whose username used to be Sorry, I believe. So yeah, same person. And hopefully not the same run. Hopefully this will be a much different experience, a much deeper and intelligence-stimulating experience. You know, this is a run that's really going to test the limits of my game knowledge to know even what the hell they're doing. But yeah, in all reality, this is going to be a really crazy playthrough of Spyro that we're going to watch together. It's also Christmas Eve today at the time that I'm recording this. So I raise my beer to everybody here. You know, happy Christmas, and I hope life is treating you guys well, and I hope you're surrounded by family and friends. And even if you're not, I hope that you're just getting by and keeping it together as best you can. Just know that I'm rooting for you no matter the case. So we're going to start this task with a Nestor skip. Seemingly off to the side, we're doing Nestor skip. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that was like supposed to be faster. Epic flop. Epic flop indeed, mate. All right, well, I'm going to kick back in my chair. I also have some dark chocolate to go with my beer, so we're going to get big comfy. I'm pretty sure the start of this level has some different routing as well. Yeah, you go and grab this guy, which actually can be done. I believe if you watch the individual level speed run of this level, I believe they do that. But doing it from the fly-in, I think, is much more difficult, is my guess. I might be wrong. I'm probably going to spread a lot of false information on this. Just keep in mind, I'll just make a little disclaimer. Everything I say about this run is purely speculation. I haven't really talked much to the creator or have their whole commentary or anything of it. This is just my low-effort YouTuber reaction. But I do play this game a lot, so hopefully I'll give some interesting insight that you guys wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Yeah, the side-eye Nestor. Either way, cheers. You're gonna hear me biting into this hard-ass piece of chocolate a lot, too. Just fat American things. Yeah, of course, staying really low because you fly faster when you fly lower. I tend not to fly very low, just for the sake of safety. Also, you didn't notice this, but they pause exited there, which is only a 1-frame window on every level except for Icy Flight, which is why that's the only level I do that on. That's a crazy charge. We're probably going to be seeing endless crazy charge jumps like that. Surely that's... Like, if jumps like that look barely possible, that's because they are barely possible. That's cool, charging out of the air for those. I think that requires good gem RNG to do, though I may be wrong. Oh, also another disclaimer I want to give before we get too deep into this is there's always one person in the comments of these reactions that's like, dude, he's not paying attention to every little thing that happened and commenting on... Dude, oh my god, that was an awesome... I never would have thought to do that flop. Oh, that's so sick in the boost up there. I am gonna miss stuff, guys. I'm gonna miss stuff. If you want me to not miss anything, like, that's not what this is. Man, those charge jumps are sick. The pivot off that first stair was dope. Oh my god, and the boost from the first stair there into the full hop. Man, that was some gorgeous movement. Yeah, I don't want to accuse the creator of this task of not playing this game much. Wow, you can jump off of the fucking vortex. And then, of course, going under to grab that red. That is technically optimal. The question is it has to beat the cycle of the next guy coming from the next room. So the reason why more trickier strats like this aren't used is because, oh wow, that jump, crazy. Is because you have to beat this guy's cycle. Which I do believe this is like a full cycle ahead or something of that nature. I don't know. Man, I love those little flop, I'll call them like boosts or whatever. Those little flop assists right there. Teamwork. The alley-oop. I'll call him an alley-oop. But yeah, just even in that level alone, there's probably like little details of things that I missed. So please do not get on my nuts in the comments about that. But feel free to point out anything that I have missed if you find it interesting. That roll might be good, actually. That's worth looking into for normal runs. Well, I'm going to go back a little. I want to see if he hit the second guy there. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to let it play. I wasn't clicked on the video. Yeah, we're gonna call that the alley-oop. Yeah, you can definitely, as a human player, you can definitely fly a lot lower in flight levels than what you see me doing. I just opt not to because it's just for added safety, and it's not a big time difference one way or the other. If you perfectly fly, like dive bomb and fly low for an entire flight level, compared to just playing it safe and flying straight to everything, it's about a 1 second difference at the most. In reality, it's usually a lot less than that. Cool boost. Yeah, this is a cool, like, I remember hearing people theorize about this route in the past. Around the time Squid was sort of pioneering boosted jumps, which are when you skitter and then use the upward momentum to give yourself more height on a full hop. So that's what a boost is when you you know, get extra height on the full hop for one reason or another by carrying momentum from the movement before. So from here on out, I'll refer to those as boosts. And like those little, wow, that was a sick movement. Those weird little alley-oop, you know, those little flops as alley-oops, just for clarity. Nice. To those who don't know, you flame charge jump to skip the animation of collecting the egg though, which is really hard to do on that thief in particular. Yeah, Falcon, I think you're right. Well, you know, one thing you got to remember is we're not at the supercharge levels yet. Like, this is going to really look like a lot more inhuman once we get to the supercharge levels. Yeah, for these first few levels, it does look, well, with the exception of maybe those perfect flame charges, it does look pretty humanly attainable gameplay. I'll give you that. Yeah, I don't know how much time that route saves off the normal one. Gotta be a few seconds at least. Man, just seeing all the jumps connected together, like so smoothly, is just a thing of beauty. Oh, he's going back for this guy? Oh, what? Yes! No, Days was talking about that. Days, I think Days found that. I want to say Days found that. You could hit the dragon from underneath to skip the dragon. That was so cool. Dude, that was so cool. To those who don't understand, he grabbed the dragon from underneath so that way Spyro would void out. Similar to Nestor skip, Spyro voids out as he's collecting the dragon there. So the dragon gets collected, but you don't have to watch or skip through the cutscene. That jump right there is definitely humanly viable. These boosts look crazy to get up to those ledges, but they are doable. I've played with them a bit. I'm not at a point where I'll do them in runs or anything. Excuse me. Nice, beautiful. Again, conserving upward momentum from the charge jumps on those platforms, and then perfectly pressing X to basically get like at least a third more height out of the full hop. Again, same thing there to jump up there. Anytime you see them jumping higher than they're supposed to, it's because they're conserving momentum from the movement before. Upward momentum into the jump. Which is like remarkably precise, by the way. Yeah, the stair climb. Now, one thing that's funny is because TASs have to be made on emulator. One thing that's funny about that is, you know, when we actually collect dragons normally, they take an extra, you know, half second, a second to actually collect. Same thing with these level transitions. So the time that you see 1:05:58 for this run is load adjusted. It's not the exact time that was achieved on this playthrough. That's like, it's 1:05:58 if this was on a PS2 with fast disk speed. Which is, you know, and there's a little bit of controversy, I want to say, when it comes to load adjustment. You know, you might think like, well, why don't we just load adjust every emulator run so that they're more comparable to a console? But the thing is that it's not 100% consistent to load adjust things because Wow, the double dog here. Also doing the flames on these dogs really early. Normally you'd wait till the dog is at the apex of its jump to do the flame, but since this is a TAS, and Sorry can just like rerun it a few times over and over, they get the optimal angle every time. It's really cool. But yeah, load adjustment is a tricky hot button issue you could say. So, you know, this 105.58 adjusted time is just basically saying like, all right, well, I played on this emulator with these settings, so we're just gonna delete this amount of time. But it may not be 100% accurate to like what, you know, what this run would have been on a PS2. Now I know Waffle actually has, like with the silly % TAS, I think, or with other TASs they've made, Waffle Wizard has actually gone through the trouble of playing back TASs on a console, which I don't even know how he does that, but like maybe plugging in an Arduino to the console or something to actually play the inputs on a physical console. So that's one way of like kind of removing some of that ambiguity. Wow, really crazy wall glide. That was awesome. Normally we do that boost further up. Yeah, I'm the one playing right now, for sure. The sheep pushed him to the right spot on the dragon. Yeah, cool, cool. Cheers. Well, I'm enjoying this chocolate. The Artisans was a low 10-minute time, load adjusted. That's insane. That's amazing. Good question in the chat. How do TASs handle RNG? And while I'm not an expert on it, I think the short answer is that this game has very little RNG. And so for the sake of playing back a TAS, it's not as much of an issue as you would think. That's like the short, like brain dead answer. There's definitely a deeper, more nuanced answer to that question, which varies depending on the game. By the way, I didn't even explain this at the start of the video. This is a TAS, which, you know, and pardon me if this explanation is patronizing, but to those who don't know, this is, the inputs of this playthrough are being played back by an emulator. So somebody's going through and putting the exact inputs on the exact frames they want, or more realistically, they'll record like a little 5-second segment, and then they'll go back and change, okay, I'm gonna hold X for 1 frame less, and they go through and change every input so that it's exactly what they want. And then the video that we're watching is just those inputs played back in an emulator. So in case anyone was confused about what exactly a TAS is, a tool-assisted superplay, that's what it is. There's also an explanation in the chat down there as well. Now that's incorrect, Troy. Sparks will always pick the closest gem to you, unless he's already preoccupied by another one. Sparks' gem collection is notably not RNG. Even though as a casual player you might think that it is, because we miss gems all the time. The actual RNG with gems is whenever a gem doesn't home in from a... Wow, that was a sick charge jump. Whenever a gem doesn't home in from, say, a box or an enemy, see how these gems are homing in? Say these gems don't home in and they just pop into the air and land on the ground. They land in a small radius, which is RNG. But Sparks' actual collection of the gems is not RNG. It's in an exact octagon actually around Spyro, and his timing is based on the context of other gems being collected around him. So even though he can only see 1 gem at a time, and even though it may seem like, you know, you might have to get closer or further to some gems than others, those are all illusions of RNG and not actually RNG. He left, I think he left the thief for later. I'm interested to see how he gets him. So the author apparently says there's 400,000 re-records. That probably has to do with the amount of individual segments that they recorded and then re-recorded of the inputs. So there's like 400,000 like individual spots that are like a second or two long, where they recorded inputs and then re-recorded them. Which is to say, this run is made up of very small segments that have been re-recorded a lot and adjusted in an emulator. I think that's what that means. If that's not exactly what that means, feel free to correct me. That movement, just fucking gliding through the air. Nice, cool. That's a cool use of a boost there. That actually might be viable for runs to do that. Merry Christmas in Europe. Dude, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm already out of my beer. Guys, is it time to grab the Mick Ultra? One sub and I grab a Mick Ultra out of the fridge. So beautiful, man. This movement's so beautiful. Yeah, so now you can see why when I was practicing the hard route for that level, why we call it the TAS route. The TAS literally follows that exact same route that I'm doing, with of course much better movement. Did he still leave the thief? He got it with a fan chest. Oh, he got it with the fan chest up above. Yep, that makes sense. To those who don't know, the fan chests in this game can fly off and hit enemies in front of them. So when he broke the windmill, the fan chest next to the vortex, it hit the thief. I get it. That's pretty crazy. I wonder if there's like a version of the task route that you could do that as a human. Beer, thank you for the 5 gifts. Oh god. It's fucking cheap beer time. Oh, I'm grabbing it. I swear I'm still watching. Yeah, I know. I gotta drink 5 Michelob Ultras now. I'll probably finish 2 by the end of this run. These birds are fucking bullshit because, like, the way you approach them factors into how they fly down. Especially that third to last one right there is really annoying. Yeah, these Michelobs are actually from the Spyro Summit. Unsurprisingly, I was the only one drinking them. No, these fucking pussies at the summit, they're drinking twisted teas. I'm like, alright, bro. I mean, a good twisted tea is good. Damn, I didn't know you could boost that. Oh my god. The assist. The alley-oop. Yo, that was crazy movement right there. Oh my god, that fucking proxy with the roll. Do they do that in Vortex? They do something like that in Vortex. I don't think it's exactly like that, though. That was fucking insane. Wow, and hitting the... Wow. No, that's a sick cleanup. That is a fucking sick cleanup. Excuse me. Doing the cleanup that way meant that they didn't have to climb up the stairs, I don't think. Or at least not in, like, as shitty... Yeah, they didn't have to climb up the stairs. Spyro Summer Summit at your place? Dude, I'm kind of down. We'll have to pay for a lot of people's plane tickets, though. What's up, Lunar? I'm doing good. We're just watching a TAS right now. A TAS recently made by sealpuptakinganap. Crazy wall glide. Yeah, I've seen that wall glide before in the old TAS, I believe. I remember being blown away by that. Damn, hits the guy before he even runs off, so you don't even have to wait for his gem. Oh my god, and grabbing all those with boosts. Damn, that is like crazy collection. Yo. You feel like most of this could be human plausible? Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I would not say anything so far is like impossible for a human to do. Maybe in like a full game speedrun setting, it's pretty like bad risk reward. I'll definitely say that. Like a lot of these like all these boosters, like that boost was totally unnecessary, you know? But even for the ones that do reroute the level and make it slightly faster, I would go so far as to say that a lot of the boosts you see here are just a really bad risk to reward acquisition for full game speedrunning. So it's not that they physically can't be done, it's just that it's like, you're just gonna throw every run to it, basically. Which, you know, hey, maybe in 2030, there'll be some gamer that's crazy enough to do that. But I'm not that guy. You know, this category, on that topic, this category has always been a push and pull between what's possible and what's realistic to do in a full game speedrun. We definitely have not, you know, for what you're seeing is possible in terms of movement in this task. I think it's fair to say that humans are nowhere close to this, and I'll go so far as to say they will never be like this close. They'll never be close enough to where you can't distinguish between TAS movement and human movement. I would love to be proven wrong on that respect one day, but yeah, it's just it's just an interesting topic about like risk reward versus what's humanly possible. Because like you said, all of this all this movement is humanly possible that we've seen up to this point. It's just really hard. Damn, you sideswiped both of them. And sideswiped them in such a way that I think the gems fall off the edge, which means they had to sideswipe them on the non-ledge side so that the gem falls down off the ledge. That was actually particularly crazy. Not just getting the side swipes, but the grounded side swipes, but also doing it so that the gems fall off. That's another element of RNG, is not necessarily where the gems fall, but how far they bounce when they fall. Nice boost there. Grabbing the dragon before these gems, or no, maybe he made the gems fall again here. Again, when the gems fall off the edge, they auto-collect. Or at least they're supposed to. Beautiful. That double flame charge is so sick. That boost right there to get up to this area, that is humanly doable. That one I should practice more. That one I want to get into runs. Yeah, that's like the cool... Wow, that was a cool one. The cool thing about watching strats from a TAS is that like any one of these boosts, you could just like grind it out and start doing it in runs. You know? So it's not like, it's not totally out of the question, all of this movement. It really isn't. It's just putting it, like, doing every single boost, you know, that you see here is just like, it's just too much. The only run that made you think it looked like TAS was Composer's Any % record? What, not my 119? No, notably my 119, is not very, task-like. It's just a really strong pace held throughout the game. Which, you know, goes to show that someone who does exceed my level of movement in this game could, you know, get a 118, could get a low 119. I'm definitely not like a particularly talented runner in that respect. I'm just a very experienced one. It's interesting. Turning it around here. Oh! Yo! That is so genius! Oh my god, that was genius! Yeah, skipping having to turn around and go back around those corners. Wow, that was so smart. I Guess we're grabbing all those gems after. Normally we'd grab all those gems there in the homeworld, or at least some of them. Nice, that's a cool little piece of movement. A little slide off from the metal guy. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, there's so many ways to do those stair sections, but that one is by far the fastest. I'm assuming this area will look pretty normal. You can see a lot of little, like, kind of jump charges happening. Frame perfect jump charges. Wow, the boost there, that's sick. Not having to wait for the third stair. But yeah, in these longer, kind of drawn out movement sections, you can very clearly see wherever Spyro kind of does a little trot, which is the TAS person letting go of square, pressing X, and then repressing square in one frame, basically. Crazy boost there. Wow, you can hit that guy from down there like that. Wow. Yeah, Jordy actually posted this route. That route there does save a half second. Probably the way it's done in the TAS here is probably a full second. Yeah, and hitting the firework chest in such a way that you collect the gems as they're popping out. That's kind of genius. If this runner existed, you're still watching me. This gives you motion sickness. Dude, the level of fucking fans that watch me is on another level. Because I was under the impression that you guys wanted to just see the best possible Spyro gameplay. And now that you've seen it, the fucking, the glaze goes so deep that it's like, you know what? I don't even want the best gameplay anymore. That's like a next level. H-Dale, I gotta give you Glaze of the Year award for that message. Yeah, smart to not make those gems home in, because the time that the gems would spend homing in, he would have already grabbed them out of the air like that. That's a cool boost. I like that. That's really cool. Maybe that could be done in human runs. That one would definitely require... Okay, now here's where it gets unhuman. Yeah. So in case you can't tell, Spyro's turning way harder than you're supposed to. Wow, that jump. And into the fucking portal. So that dragon will be collected when you exit. Yo, that was a sick dragon collection. That was crazy swag on that. I was about to say, like, so, like, in super... Now that we're getting into the supercharge levels, you're gonna see a lot of gems being left for later because it's just easier to collect them with that tap. In order to do those sharp turns with the supercharge, let me explain this for you guys. There's over 64,000 possible coordinates that can be tracked on your left analog stick. And in order to do a sharp turn on a supercharge, you have to do one of 4 coordinates on the left analog stick while pressing the opposite direction on the D-pad. So it's not even just a question of getting the exact right coordinate on the analog stick, but if for a human to do those turns, you would have to claw grip the analog and D-pad in order to still use the other buttons. Just to give you an idea of how precise it is, it's a 4 out of 64,000 precision. Just to do one of the sharp turns. Keep in mind, not knowing what direction it's gonna go or anything. So anytime you see a sharp turn, that's how precise it is. God, this is so beautiful. This is mad. This is what makes a Spyro 1 TAS a Spyro 1 TAS. This is what it's all about. I mean, dude, there's no words. You can't give words to something as beautiful as that. Nice. Good jump there, actually. To not get skittered on the... it's really hard going up that hill to not accidentally get your supercharge canceled. That's another thing that's, you know, not really exemplified by this TAS that you guys might not realize is that it's really easy to lose your supercharge in this game. Like, if you go over the wrong kind of, like, polygon or the wrong kind of floor, or you go off a ledge weird, the game will just cancel your supercharge. Which obviously is not going to happen here, but, you know, just worth considering in terms of, like, how crazy the movement is, you know? Yeah, first half of this level, no supercharge, being chilling. Damn, the longest flame charge possible on that guy. Getting stuck on the corner intentionally there, that actually happens whenever Spyro is causing smoke to come out of his feet and you're on an edge like that. Nice. That version of Wizard Proxy is, you don't have to wait for the wizard. Alley-oop. The alley-oop Wizard Proxy. Yeah, I'm playing with one hand. I'm actually playing with my mind right now. This game is just so easy to me, you know? I just gotta chug a beer and... Nice! Wow, that's a cool way of grabbing those two greens because it was always understood to me that you could only grab those greens with a different type of jump up there, but... Just had so much speed, he was able to basically jump from the bottom of the ramp. Yeah, luckily going so fast that, like, going over those little pools of water doesn't affect them. Beer number 2 complete. One more beer. One more sub, and I grab another Michelob. One sub equals one Michelob. Technically, Beard gifted 5 earlier, so I should grab, like, 5, but... I'll be patient, you know, take it slow. Eat my chocolate. Interesting way of doing the dragon skip. So to those who don't know, in that going into that portal to Crystal Flight, you're supposed to touch the dragon through the portal, which the TAS author must have barely done there. Thank you Benji and Nulex for the subs. Enjoy. Beer incoming. Did I miss anything? It's like watching a movie. How's the chocolate? It's amazing. Now that's starting to melt a little bit. It's fucking amazing. 72% dark chocolate from Trader Joe's. One of the finest. Hey, cheers, guys. Salud. Lord Nulex. Bovie King with the fucking gift. Thank you, Bovie King. Love you. Alright. Wait, wrong thing. No, come back to the game. Come back to the game. Where is it? There it is. Thank you guys for the support, for the drunken support. Merry Christmas, by the way. Happy Christmas Eve. Watch, there's gonna be some guy in the comments that's like, bro, you missed the strat in Crystal Flight. You missed the craziest strat ever. God, I thought you were serious about speedrunning, Dayo. I love that, hitting the flame charge before getting the box. Nice alley-oop again. I love that collection of that box. There might be a world where getting the box that way makes sense. Oh, you only eat 88% or higher dark chocolate? For health benefit purposes, that makes sense. For taste purposes, that's unhinged. If you're saying you prefer the taste of like 88% chocolate, you're insane. That's like wild. That's like next level taste buds. It's borderline stressful just to watch this. That's what someone was saying earlier. That I was joking around. I was like, someone said, yeah, I'd rather watch Dayo play because, like, I don't want to see movement this good. I'm like, man, the glaze is insane right now. But I get it, especially during the supercharge sections. It can be a little dizzying for sure. But as someone who just enjoys like watching all the boosts and the way they connect flame charges and movement, it's just nice to see this game played like truly optimally. It's a rare sight. Like right there, for example, I wouldn't go for that double flame charge, even though it's totally humanly possible. Also, you'll notice there's a lot more, even though that was the exact same routing as what I do on record, the actual execution involved a lot more jump charges and a lot more extended flame charges, which are they just add to the risk reward aspect of it. It's like if you can catch that cycle without doing all that, then it makes sense to do that. But it's like, obviously in a task that doesn't matter. So even though that section looked super humanly achievable, which it is humanly achievable, it's just so different in a real run situation when we talk about risk reward. And that's always, like I said, that's always the rub when it comes to talking about, like, you know, second or less time saves in this game. Really great double fan chest. It's really hard to hit that double fan chest. Smokey Bro actually hit the super cycle here, getting that double fan chest in his IL record. Shout out Smokey Bro. Yeah, we talk about dark chocolate like it's the fucking meth from Breaking Bad. True. Now, I wonder if that wall glide is faster than just jumping across without a wall glide. Because Smokey just jumped straight across, like no wall required. You'll notice that they ran over a part of the active electric pad, and that's because that part has no damage. Wow, extending that first flame to hit the first purple guy, that was crazy. Yeah, Dark Chocolate is definitely better than Dark Passage. But I do like DP. Oh, magic stairs there. I didn't know you could magic stair this. Grabbing these first. Okay, let's see how we get up there. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing this. Yep. When I saw him, oh my god, when I saw him looking at the chicken, I was like, I know what's happening now. I've seen enough chicken proxies to know what's going on there. That's cool. That is, oh man, the double hit on that flame. No, literally, he cleaned up the bottom area, then he turned towards the chicken, and I was like, this chicken's history. This chicken needs to write its obituary right now. This chicken's done. This chicken's about to get violated right now. It's all over for the chicken. He's gonna chase down. No, he still waits for him. Still waits for the. Even in a task, you still wait for that. That boar. So it really didn't matter how they cleaned up the interior area there. Have I ever considered doing a per level breakdown of all the tricks? Yes, and in fact, I'm not sure if you know this, Benji, but on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist where I did exactly that. I've done a breakdown of every single level from an old world record, pausing and unpausing, to talk about every trick and every possible way things can go wrong. So if you haven't seen that, check out my tutorial playlist. It doesn't just... My tutorial playlist starts with like the beginner tutorial playthrough, play along, but then there's also some older videos there of each level individually broken down as well, like how you're saying. Yep, that can't be optimal. It can't be optimal. I refuse to believe that is optimal. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure even with this exact same route, it would have been faster to just hit the wall and turn around. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, you know, Seal Pup or whoever. But that was pretty swaggy. I'll give them that. That was pretty swaggy. And if it wasn't optimal, then it would probably be by like a couple frames, not like a big deal. Worth it for the swag, in my opinion. Yeah, swag better than optimal. So yeah, I'm not against it. I'm not hating. Oh man, no chicken required. Oh, that makes sense to grab it after. I should do that whenever I'm blue sparks here. Nice. Same thing there with collecting all the gems after instead of grabbing them all at once. Yeah, that route is definitely better, but it requires the frogs to be good. Which is, you know, not the most consistent thing. Those frogs, if you don't know, those frogs can jump to a number of different places based on your camera approach. What? I don't even understand how that worked. Usually whenever you hear the chomp noise, it's too late. I didn't realize you could hit him. I know you can hit him during the chomp and get a proxy, but I didn't know you could just straight up kill him like that. Nice corner stop there in order to get the double flame charge. Taking advantage of the shitty corners in this game, the shitty corner collision that stops you. It's interesting to see movement that takes advantage of that. Also, that second spring chest, we've been seeing a lot of that where they'll just grab it out of the air without bonking. That's really hard to do. That is definitely possible, but that's like one of those really precise things that you might not realize. Damn, the optimal jump charge there. You know, after having done that, guys, so many times, I just appreciate the optimal jump charge. Normally, you'd be like fucking sitting in the air for a hot minute on that guy. Very lucky to not get hit. This is like a TAS moment here. Epstein, yeah, yep. What really makes it fast there is hitting the metal guy on the right, because any human run you see of that room is going to clean up everything and then leave the last guy, you know, go back for him and then clean up the rest. So getting the metal guy on the right early is like the ballsy part of that strat compared to, you know, human runs. Which I say human runs, it's not like a robot played this. A human played these and then fixed the inputs and then played it back. So it's not like this is a robot playing or anything. This is technically a human playing, if we're gonna be like pedantic about it. But just for the sake of clarity, I'm just gonna say human versus TAS. Okay, not getting the two enemies beyond in the early area there. I'm interested to see how we're gonna hit them. Probably with supercharge. This is a supercharge level, so get your drunken dizzy glasses ready. Get your supercharged sharp turn glasses ready. Here, it's coming. They're definitely gonna hit those guys with supercharge. Oh yeah, that little bump right there. That bump was actually being theorized for glideless recently. I'm surprised we didn't grab that dragon into a death abuse. But maybe it just didn't work out. Like, you know, bounce off the dragon while collecting him into the void. Surely they thought of that. What's up, Deco? Welcome, welcome. Man, this is nuts. Red smoke, by the way. You'll never see red smoke in a normal run, but that's max charge speed right there. You don't even see it in normal gameplay very often. You really have to go out of your way to try to get red smoke during supercharge in this game. This is a TAS and not me playing. No, this is definitely not me playing. No, this is me playing right now. What? What, you think I can't do this? Yeah, the red thief early is actually doable in human runs if you go wide enough on the approach coming the normal way. It's just not faster the way we do it. In this TAS, obviously, it's faster the way they do it, but... Yeah, that red thief, before the red thief starts running, it's when those thieves start running that they get invincibility, but before they run, if you can flame them before they start running, then yeah, they're vulnerable during that. Nice, that's cool. I like that. And then that, yep. Into the thing, yep. So sick. To those who don't know, that was an out of bounds there to get to this area, so that way you don't have to go down through the gate. Yeah, right, Tech Gamer. No, if you play this game even casually a lot, you can appreciate how hard it is to get red supercharged smoke. Really smart use of the boost there coming out of the stairs. Keep in mind, anytime they charge jump upstairs and then full hop like on these stairs, they're getting extra height on the full hop because they're conserving upward momentum from the charge jump of the first stair. Again, just like the boosts I was talking about earlier. With more beer, you think I could do this? Maybe. Oh, there's an interesting cleanup here. Wow, I wonder if that's humanly... I wonder if that's doable for single segment. That's a different pylon order. I wonder if that's doable. That's worth looking into. This is some creative... This is different as well. Very different. Here... Okay, so right there, he broke the last two pylons. Metalhead broke the pylons himself. Also, those roll boosts. Pretty cool. That's like a backup vortex strat, is doing those rolls up the wall like that. Really cool cleanup there. Yeah, I wonder if those alternate pylons are viable for a human. Oh man, the momentum conservation there was just beautiful. Normally you can't get that close to a fan chest and still get the flame charge, but here you can. Or hit that first metal chest from so far above, because the gems, if you hit a box from too high up, then the gem won't home in. Again, this is a TAS, so they can like get away with it. They know the exact frame to hit it that it'll be fine, but yeah. That movement definitely exemplified shit that you would never do as a human. Even though it looked like pretty normal, it was like a human doing that would have absolutely missed gems, even if they did the exact inputs. What is a vortex? And the ads pop up. I'm gonna wait like a minute or two before answering your question, so you can watch the ads. By the way, I have the minimum ads set on my Twitch channel, so I'm a man of the people. 3 minutes an hour, that's it. So hopefully you're still around after the ads, Wolf Dragon. Okay, here. Oh, wow. The double proxy from the guy's body. Same thing there. The wizard's body really is causing a lot. Now, he didn't kill that wizard. Wait a minute. Let's see what happens here. Ah, we're collecting all this first. Okay. Oh, that is satisfying. That is satisfying. The fucking treasure room. No, this is beauty. This is like in my dreams, this is what it looks like. Dude, the perfect U-turn there and grabbing the gem. Yep. No, this is just comical at this point. Yep, grabbing those gems at the start. Yep. This is definitely supercharged sharp turning taken to its limit. For sure. I don't think I've ever seen supercharged sharp turning done this crazy. That was amazing. And now we're gonna do wizard proxy, and this wizard proxy is gonna go over the it's gonna go over the wall. Watch. So going over the wall like this saves 10 seconds, and it is possible in a human speedrun. It is possible, but it's extremely rare. It needs to be like a literally frame perfect thing. But yeah, that's one of those like holy grail tricks, is the wizard proxy over the wall to the stairs like that. Which I have done in runs before, just not on PBs, obviously. He does get the fire, yeah. Yeah, it may not seem necessary, honestly. This is probably just the last collectible right here, this dragon. He hardly uses the fucking fire. Yeah. The fire was just a, it was just a formality, really. The super hot flame. So we're actually over-lifed here. We're at 3 lives. Normally you're supposed to be 1 life if you go for the wall glide route like this. So we're gonna see how, I think we're either gonna see some intentional death abuse here in Dreamweavers, like in Jacques, for example. Oh, wow. Wow, dude, those shots, bro. Those shots were disgusting. Oh my god. Those shots were offensive. Hey, the flop, I do that. Dude, those shots were crazy. What the fuck? I can't even barely comprehend that. But yeah, we're probably gonna see some intentional death abuses, or we're gonna see a not game over credit skip. It's gonna be one of the two. What's up, Hecky? Good to see you, man. Dude, big shout out to Hecky for relinquishing their backup prize to bail you out. It actually turned out that I didn't end up even sending a backup prize to bail you out. So, but big shout out to Hecky for being willing to give up their backup prize. So if anyone's feeling generous, definitely give Hecky a sub in the chat, or gift him a membership in the YouTube chat. Dude is very deserving for his selflessness there. Yeah, you the goat, Hecky. Alright, Lofty incoming. I think I might need to grab one more beer. Yo, 1 gift and I grab a beer. It's very simple. I'm gonna grab it right now, fuck it. Lofty. Okay, this is the same start as what I do in runs now. Cool to see that that's what the TAS does. I grabbed a beer, but 1 sub and I crack it open. That's my deal. And by the way, thanks to everyone who has subbed today. I'm noticing that he didn't grab the gems from the enemies over there. Also, cool boost, not doing the damage boost there. That's pretty cool. One here, yeah. We're going right away to the fucking to the supercharge ramp, unsurprisingly. I heard a yata in the chat. That was probably somebody subbing on YouTube. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, there's some yatas. Cheers to whoever get. Well, I'm gonna just pause real quick, actually. On this dragon. Thank you, Broserat, and yeah, Broserat with the gift. Thank you. All right, let's see the supercharge. I mean, just goddamn, dude. God fucking damn. I want to reiterate, every time they make a sharp turn, it's a 4 out of 64,000 precise angle. And depending on which of those 4 angles you do, it's a different amount of sharpness. Like it's a different angle from the actual turn itself. So this is like extremely precise, and I mean, I can imagine they probably spent like, you know, many hours just on each one of these supercharge levels alone. Like we saw maybe what, like 50 sharp turns there just on that one charge. Each one of those was very carefully, you know, was very carefully engineered. No, those supercharges are not humanly possible. But all of the other movement is. which is kind of the interesting thing. Yeah, true. He's trying to go so fast the gems are trying to keep up. True. Interesting to see how Dark Passage goes. There's no supercharge here. This is just going to be raw movement. I'm kind of curious about the cycles and what the ideal movement is here. Wow, hitting that dog before it even turns. Wow. Wow, really taking advantage of the dog's movement and doing Nestor skip on this dragon, which probably ends up giving you a more favorable cycle on these dogs. Wow. Doing it, you might wonder, why don't we do Nestor skip on every one of those dragons? And it's because it only saves frames, a frame at the most. Whereas here, it saved time by resetting the dog cycle, which was, I think, kind of interesting. An interesting nuance there. Thank you, Tia, for the super chat. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. Hope you're enjoying a beautiful Spyro TAS today to kick off the day. Right, again, riding the enemy's bodies there. Yeah, they really take advantage of the dog's initial movement to like they know that the dog is gonna run into them, and so they like take care of the dog before it even starts running. Also, Stephen Evans in the chat, Saboom's YouTube channel, points out an interesting distinction. All of this is technically possible in the game. And when I say not humanly possible, I mean not humanly realistic, is what I mean. All of this is humanly possible. Even supercharged sharp turning is humanly possible. It's just not humanly realistic. What's up, E White? Thank you for the 5 gifts. Chug is in the chat. Merry Christmas. Full disclosure, I was not paying a lot of attention at the end of that Dark Passage. Just full honesty. To whoever wants to give me shit in the YouTube comments. Bro, you missed the thing in Dark Passage. Dude, I know, bro. I know. Cheers. We're going Jacques here. Or no, that makes sense because we did wall glide route. Yeah, we're going Jacques. That makes sense. I'm saying that like that was like not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Jacques has got to be some crazy routing. Let's see. Wow, a beautiful bounce. Beautiful turnaround. You guys aren't respecting these like these little pivot turns like that. Those are not easy. Oh my god, really pushing the charge glide there, which you're not supposed to do on that jump. Getting the boost to get up to the key chest. This one's gonna take him out of bounds. This is the TAS shit. This is that TAS shit right there. Who needs to fight Jacques? Look, he's gonna kill Jacques right here. He's gonna kill Jacques. Oh my god, and then he's gonna grab all the gems. He's gonna have to run back there to grab his gems, because Jacques drops gems. No, that's fucking crazy. He's probably gonna end the level there. That's my guess. He's gonna end the level there, because there's still more gems back there from the Jacques death itself. And again, just doing this second spring chest, like with a fucking frame glide like that, instead of just like fully jump flaming both of them, it's like way more precise than it looks. So my guess is at the end of this area, they're gonna go back through the whirlwind and go over the mountains again. That's what I'm guessing. To grab the last of the gems from the fight. Oh wow, beautiful movement, beautiful movement. Oh, well, I guess they did get all the gems from the fight, and I just missed it. That's weird, because normally Jacques' supposed to drop those. I wonder what I missed about that. I definitely missed some detail there about that. They might have fallen into the lava. That's a good point, Spora, because normally when you kill Jacques early, they go towards the edge of the lava. But because he killed Jacques right after he started moving, that probably sent the gems into the lava. That's probably what happened. Yeah, good call. Good shout on that. Alright, here we go. Cove. Maybe glitch. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. 28,000 experience left before you're done with sailing. Dude, hell yeah. I just hit level 81 last night. So I'm still in the trenches. Yeah, right, goated. I won't respect a TAS until I see it glitchless. No charging for movement allowed. Remember, guys, if you charge to go fast, that's a glitch. Wow! And that side swipe didn't even cost sparks right there. That's beautiful. Wow, and grabbing all those gems, by the way. No small feat. Beautiful. Man, I can't underline the side swipes. Whenever he hits a TNT crate and it doesn't drop sparks because he hit it barely on the side, that's crazy precise. Ooh, and getting the first guy before hitting the second one. That's pretty smart. Is he still over on lives? I think so. I haven't seen any death abuses or anything. So my guess is that this TAS is gonna not have game over credit skip. Ooh, going here first. This is interesting. Oh man, that is a good cleanup there. That's how I should clean up that area, since I do keyless anyways. Yeah, it's an interesting point. It's like, since I do keyless, I might as well do the cleanup like that, you know? I timed it, and hitting those guys early is not faster. I think that is actually a point of improvement for this TAS. But maybe that's like a difference between a human and a TAS moment, you know? I don't know. Yeah, let's see the life count when he enters this level. DJ, thank you for the sub. Cheers. Yeah, 3 lives. We're not taking 3 death abuses here. We might take 1 death abuse. Maybe. This is a supercharge level, so we'll see. Yeah, he's using the edge of he's using the corners of ledges in order to turn around more precisely. If you do a quick turn on a... Oh, that death! Oh my god, that was beautiful! Skipping the dragon collection with that death. Perfectly sliding Spyro in there. Wow. Alright, let's see the supercharge. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, get this dragon and then we'll do the crazy supercharge. Interesting, not... I'm curious to see why... I'm gonna think, why did they grab those gems early? And we'll see probably... That'll probably be explained by this supercharge. It's like, yeah, you can grab those gems with supercharge. Why can't you grab those on the left there with supercharge? I wonder what the reasoning was for that. GG. GG. Yeah, I'm kind of confused about the routing there, about why did they grab some gems early with supercharge. I'm sure Sealpup has some insight on that that goes beyond my realm of expertise. Yeah, regardless, an insane supercharge, of course. I've grown numb to the supercharges at this point. So yeah, I'm guessing on the firework chest we're gonna charge directly into it here. Oh, interesting to leave this guy. Wow, okay. That's a... It's an interesting question what the optimal time to grab that guy is, because right away is not, and really late is not. Like, optimally... It doesn't matter for a human, again, but, like, optimally speaking. Yeah, charging into that. We want to have at least green sparks for credit skip. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think, Hecky. Back in Twilight. Oh, let's see the push. All the way into the... Gnasty pushing you all... That's what you want every time you hit Gnasty. 120 runner. They actually, even just any Spyro 1 runner is like obsessed with Gnasty pushing you in there. It's just funny. Single shot, of course. And doing the TAS version of this where you flame him as you get proxied, so that way you just void out into the void rather than dying in the lava. Which is, I guess, technically faster. There's a, you know, fun fact about that is there's actually a setup where you can do that like little, you know, void out version of credit skip, but the setup for it is slower than doing single shot. It takes like 2 or 3 shots to set it up. So it ends up being slower. Okay, here we go. There's the Super Dave. The Super Dave route here. Where we go up here early, breaking the height cap. Wow, beautiful rolls, by the way. Cleaning up all these. It's cool to see all the different ways we collect spring chests on this TAS. Flaming through there just to get that. Wow, and a little boost to get up there. I didn't even know you could do that. Our height cap is still pretty low, I'm thinking. They must have glided at some point to get up there. That's the 2 vault. That was found probably while this TAS was being created, by the way. That little triangle press there. Beautiful. Man, the momentum conservation is crazy there. And yes, you can barely grab the gems while flying there on the ground. It's almost frame perfect. But yeah, you can grab grounded gems without grounding Spyro. Yeah, like that. That is fucking insane. That looked like nothing, but that's fucking insane to do that. Sideswipe on the first box, so that way we didn't have to wait for them to all explode. This way we don't have to do multiple circles through the room. And that is time. With 1:05:58. Fast disc speed adjusted. My guess is that would be like maybe like a 109, maybe 108 on BizHawk, which I would assume is the emulator being used here. Either way, sub 110, which is just fucking insane. And GG's, yeah. GG's in the chat for sealpuptaking a nap. Formerly sorry. If you remember, again, I want to reiterate, this is the same, I'm pretty sure this is the same, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this is the same person that created the previous 120% TAS of 108. This one with a almost 3-minute improvement. So really cool thing to see. A lot of things implemented in this. This didn't just look like the exact same thing as before. This definitely looked like a lot of things were changed around and upgraded. So it's honestly, it's really heartwarming to me to see that someone is like fucking actually trying to task this game and like try their best, especially as someone that's like not a streamer or single segment runner in a big way. It's cool to see someone putting in the time to, like someone said in the chat earlier, this took 400,000 re-records, according to the description. Let me check the description. It might say that. Yeah, 433,000 re-records. It says down there. In the, it's cut off by the screen, but it says that down in the description. So yeah, dude. Fucking GG's to Seal, man. GG's. That's about it. That's about all I have to say, guys. If you're watching this video after the fact, drop a sub, follow the channel. We're gonna be doing more runs in the future, and it is Christmas right now, so chuggers in the chat and Merry Christmas. And here's to more Spyro speedrunning and Spyro TASing and Spyro vibing and Spyro kissing each other in the chat and Spyro smoking weed every day. I love you guys, man. It's a pleasure to have everyone here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little TAS reaction. Hopefully I added something to it that that, you know, gave you some extra help that made it more interesting for you. So yeah, cheers everybody. Till next time, my name is Dayoman, and I will catch you in the next one.